Chapter 17. Toward Manhood. Ever since Eve at that critical moment screamed, "Be a man!" we have the duty, the pride, the honor, no, the pleasure of being a man. But alas, many males have become ashamed of the passions that are natural and reasonable, and have become proud of those that are shameful and silly. Your grandparents and ancestors called him the dupe. Others called him the sap. We know him only as nice guy.
The plague of feminism. Feminism has castrated the male mind. Masculinity, noble, wise, triumphant, essential to civilization, is damned as decadence. The key to success in dating and with women in general is not finding out how a woman's mind works. To the contrary, the secret is finding out how a man's mind works and being not a nice guy, not a jerk, not some male, but a man.
Come here, my feminists, and lay your charges against mankind.
The Dragon Lady shrieks,
Masculinity is accused of the following. He has looked upon women as forms of meat to be sexually consumed. He has created a patriarchy to tower above women socially. He has used his brute force to treat women entirely as property to be traded, bargained, and seen as a trophy. He has kept women from earning as much money as he. He has forced women to wear different clothes, to wear makeup, to decorate ourselves, all for his pleasure. He has done the above for centuries and will continue to do so forever, so unless we stop mankind now.
But ladies, so bitter and cold, are you not aware that you persist on a path for certain unhappiness and destruction? You damn masculinity, but then wonder why real men disappeared. You catapult your first thought toward the mirage of being female without feeling the sexual tension, nature herself, but then merely toss the second thought as wondering why that nice guy, that desexualized male, is not exciting you. Oh, pernicious women! I do hereby say and enunciate that every charge feminism has made against masculinity is what femininity is guilty of.
It is women who desire to be coveted by the masculine eye. Women go off to clubs and other events precisely to be ogled and looked upon. These women return home sexually satisfied. For many women, the conquest of the mind is enough. It is women who forced men to be the leaders, the chargers, the arrows that pierce and split the oncoming waves of nature and time, sheltering women and community. It is women who look upon man as one looks upon a plow horse. For what does true love have to do with career, financial status, protection, and ambition? Women do not merely marry the man, but the man's career, the man's fame, and the man's success. She adopts his name as she adopts his ego, his property of life. It is women who have kept men from earning what they should, sucking, leeching, and draining from man's reserves, financially, physically, and egotistically. It is women who initiate the treatment of their bodies like a fresh ornament, painting their faces with reds and purples, the colors of sexual stimulation, and showing off their body through clothing to stimulate sexual thought. Unlike all the animals of our distracted globe, the human female must decorate herself. The male creatures give beauty to the world, showing off their colorful feathers, reveling in their protection and work. However, women must give men incentive to mate. Women have done this for centuries and will continue to do so, now under the premise of being a victim to man's dirty thoughts. Yet, women are entirely sexual. It is women who create the sexual actions. Man is there for the ride. In every epoch of history, there arises an armada of feminist vultures to come tear and pick at the soul of man for the fiery gift of civilization. Every civilization's decline is when masculinity is in retreat.
Oh, masculinity! We have seen you persecuted by laws, mocked at the courts, shunned by the university, nagged into servitude, chased from education, jeered at by the powers that be, insulted by intelligentsia, laughed at by women, and betrayed by your most trusted guardians, males. For if you are forgotten now in this last era, what hope is there for the dignity of man and the youth that follows? Decadence, thy name is woman. Let us reverse the trend. What a day it will be when men proudly wear the crown of masculinity that our flesh is heir to.
Sisyphus disease. From the shocks and snaps that is the hysterical shrill known as feminism comes the manufactured guilt impregnated into males. The most awful curse ever to be inflicted on men. What horror this curse is! For before you is the bounty of heaven, paradise in your grasp, yet every step you take plunges you into the depths of humiliating, torturing hell. The more you pursue the women desired, the more you end up driving them away. The more steps you take to end loneliness, the greater loneliness becomes. What is this curse? It is the Sisyphus. In the realm of Greek mythology, Sisyphus was condemned to roll a stone up a hill. Yet, for poor Sisyphus, the rock would always roll back down. The more he pursued for his goal, the more he encountered defeat. Just as in today, the nice guys see the paradise in the woman they are attracted to, a dream in flesh. They pursue their goal and roll up their rock of phone calls, intimacy, and affection. But, for the poor nice guy, the harder they push that rock, the harder it falls on them. The more they pursue, the more she flees. The more they declare their love, the more she vanishes, forever leaving the nice guys with cold, hard pain.
But I have dodged your Sisyphus,
An old romantic will say.
I have found my girl. We are to be soon wedded.
Alas, for Sisyphus strikes at its worst in marriage. I'll say it again. Sisyphus strikes at its worst in marriage. Sisyphus makes sissies of us all. The married nice guy, sissy, faces the hardest consequences. By failing to be a man, you become not a father, but a substitute mother. No wonder divorces are widespread and constant. No wonder lesbianism is on the increase. If males act feminine, then what are women to respond to? Sisyphus is resisting women not by negligence, but by your pursuit, not by your lack of romantic sense, but because of your romantic sense. Humans have been formed with a social form, along with a physical form. If there is a breakdown in the physical form, such as the immune system, diseases are caught, flu, fever, etc. In just the same way, if there is a breakdown in the social system, diseases are caught, loneliness, despair, aimlessness. Purpose, passion, persistence, in other words, strength, nobility, mastery. This is man. Masculinity is uninfluenced by his environments, physically and socially, while femininity is influenced completely by the environment, physically and socially. Sisyphus disrupts masculinity and places feminine characteristics into the male. Physically, Sisyphus will not adventure, risk, and ultimately surmount his surroundings. Socially, Sisyphus will shrink, become a wallflower, become agreeable with everything and everyone, and ultimately bend to the environment, submitting rather than dominating. The symptoms are broken dates, disrespect, being blown off, in other words, unrequited love. The root of the symptoms is the breakdown of this social form. Sisyphus, with the plagued individual, is identified as the nice guy. A woman's fantasy is that her beauty and charm will ensnare great men, the politicians, the lawyers, the firemen, the doctors. In other words, winning the men who can have any woman. A man's fantasy is that his will and strength can overcome any obstacle heroically. You could even say that femininity is matter over mind, while masculinity is mind over matter. Does this sound like you?
I called her every day. Why is she blowing me off? I confessed my feelings for her. Why is she avoiding me? We used to talk about everything all the time. I never felt closer to anyone, so I decided to go for her. Now she's saying we should just be friends. What does that mean?
Poor souls. They are caught within the awful cycle known as the nice guy, known as the Sisyphus. They fall in love with a woman and end up driving her away. Are you lonely? Do you feel as if you're going to be single all your life? Do all the women you find attractive fly away from you, while all the women you don't find attractive gravitate towards you? Do you feel as if you've lost the lottery of life? Are you jealous of other guys, especially jerks, in their ability to win the passion of women? All these are symptoms of Sisyphus. They can all be cured. Destiny of nice guy. Towards manhood. And this is acknowledged as a complete and utter blank in the mind of nice guy. Oh, nice guys. They cannot be heroes, cannot be leaders, cannot be warriors, and therefore cannot be Don Juans. Stripped of masculinity, void of manly courage, The nice guy is a male that teeters and totters with the waves of his environment. He is not a captain. He has no sail. Listen, we can hear him.
The fish will come to the ship instead of the ship to the fish.
How sure he thinks he is. How clear his future appears. But his nets are empty. Wait, there is something. By merely drifting, the nice guy ship snagged some haggardly rot. Does this strike awareness in the nice guy to make course? No, for the nice guy declares.
The stars are aligned that the particular fish, the one, shall meet my merry nets.
But, alas, the fish see him waving his nets around, fleeing faster than ever. His nets are still empty. Wait, the nets are not completely empty. The haggardly rot is within.
We must accept our fate,
He says, and settles for the strange fish, or damaged fish, that have swam into his nets. Never realizing his potential as a captain, never realizing his genius for sailing and the joys and thrills that come with it, the nice guy yields to mediocrity. Why does the nice guy stay mediocre? Because he is told that someone will love him for how he is. How destructive is this statement? What an obstacle it is to success. For it makes it seem that all values are relative, and thus making him blind to his mediocrity. Look, a storm is approaching, and off goes the nice guy, sailing away scared and frightened. Smooth seas never made successful sailors. The nice guy is the great fisherman who fishes in the docks. Towards manhood. For the nice guy's proper name should be soft male. Molded by convention, sculpted by reaction, altered by fear, the soft male's destiny is to crash and burn repeatedly until someone he likes does like him back. If she does not flee, if she is as desperate as he is, then they unite with both of them saying, "Thank goodness that is over." The dating game, the threshold of joy, the pinnacle of exhilaration, the zest of life's rattling dice. These are seen as the pain, chores, and joyless motions to the soft males. Life is not the focus, but the avoidance of pain is. Scoundrel nice guy habit. His chains are too weak for us to feel until they are too strong for us to break. But it was not women who forged those chains. It is ourselves. You can hear them clanking throughout childhood. The hardest lesson to realize is that we are the creator and mastermind of our failure. Your competition is yourself. When you can conquer yourself, you can conquer everything. It is not so much that the truth of women hurts, the shock is recovered with success. No, the lies we have all believed, they leave the scar. Remember, the first feminist was Adam, who didn't have the spine to tell Eve,
No!
masculinity must be secured and nourished, or all civilization falls.
This is an extreme exaggeration.
Is it? Take any civilization and look at its collapse. Masculinity is always in retreat at the latter stages. Look at the Ottoman Empire. After Suleiman, the sultans became mediocre, even mentally retarded. It all started with one sultan who became so infatuated with a Ukrainian woman that he would do anything for her. Does this sound familiar? She wanted her son, obviously born not by him, to be sultan. He transported the lad into the empire and put him in line to be sultan. He would do anything to please her. Does this sound like something you may have done? The effects of the following mediocrity were not immediately seen, but for several decades in the first half of the 17th century, the women exercised such influence that the period is called the Sultanate of the Women. And so the great and vast Ottoman Empire collapsed, not because of women, but because of the betrayal to masculinity. Towards manhood. And there sits our nice guy waiting for the one to come. Opportunity will not knock. Therefore, make the door. For the beauty of successful people is that they do what unsuccessful people dare not to do. On masculinity. At the latest Pook fiesta, I gathered the women,
Ladies, how do you know confidence?
their cat-like eyes glowing. They answer with a slippery tongue. Confidence is what makes others give him respect.
Confidence is what makes me feel feminine.
Confidence is what makes me feel comfortable.
What answers are these? What replies these women give? Confidence. What is it? Where is it? What should it do? All that I know is that it is the most mysterious, most invoked, most advised trait to have. Be confident. But what is it? And why do women want it so badly? Why don't they make it for themselves? Oh, pardon me, women, who nothing stops, not even contradictions. You women seem to have discovered some magical element known as confidence and look upon it as the giver of all things. Confidence. It has food for all your female appetites, calm for all your feminine nerves, direction for your missions, protection against your worries, honor against your immoralities, stability for your wavering, integrity for your shamelessness, rhythm to your boringness, advice for your endless perplexities, truths to your errors, values to your vacuums, which provides for all your needs, foresees all your desires, satisfies all your curiosities, amends your faults, and exempts you, ladies, from the need of foresight, prudence, judgment, sagacity, experience, honor, courage, and industry. How much you expect from a man? Your desires are unlimited, so your definitions are unlimited. As a man, I look upon this rare jewel, this diamond that women so frequently petition me to share, this confidence with a smirking air. I hold it to the light of truth, and then confidence splits into three: the past, present, and future, or better to say, initiator, consequences, and purpose. The names of courage, professionalism, and altruism. I draft 3 women, you, and you. Since we know that women want different things, we shall split them in 3 as well. Some women want to find someone to marry. That is you. Some women want someone to sleep with. That is you. Then there are women who are just looking for friendship. Yes, you. From the different spectrums of confidence, from the 8 mixes of courage, professionalism, and altruism, we will see where you stand and what this marvel confidence is, and the composition of a true man. Courage, professionalism, and altruism. Mix and match, mix and match. What types of men shall we make with them? Let us start with one that is opposite of the 3 values of confidence. We will use a rating system of 1 being the most desirable and 8 being the least desirable.
Category: non-altruist, non-brave, voluntary. Henry works for a supermarket chain as an administrator. He plays golf, goes to concerts, and explores the internet.
Rate him, women. Out of all 8, where does he stand?
One-night stand or affair, 8. Long-term relationship, 8.
Friendship 8.
Ouch! What a loser! Oh, but let us shuffle the deck again. Here we go. Prepare thyself, ladies.
Category: altruist, non-brave, voluntary. Dennis lives next door to his elderly grandmother. He works in computing and gives dinner parties for friends.
He lives right next door to Granny. What a nice guy. Rate, ladies. Rate.
One-night stand or affair, 6. Long-term relationship, 7.
Friendship 7.
Even as desired to be a friend, the nice guy fails. Let me move the shells around again. Ah, that's it. Here we go, ladies.
Category: altruist, non-brave, professional. Charles enjoys caring for people. He is a nurse, but is considering training to be a counselor because he thinks the prospects might be better. He is learning to play the clarinet, but does not practice as much as he should because he worries about the neighbors.
He worries about the neighbors. What a sissy. But he is an altruistic and professional sissy. It is Judgment Day for Charles. Rate him, my ladies.
One-night stand or affair, 7. Long-term relationship, 6.
Friendship 5.
Ah, as you can see, feminine males do not get laid. Oh, do not get angry with me, ladies. I am not creating just wimps. We are going through the spectrum of all the guys out there. Brace thyself, girls.
Category: non-altruist, brave, voluntary. Frank likes to be outdoors. He is attracted by danger and spends weekends and holidays rock climbing.
He is not professional. He is not caring. He is a male bimbo, but he is brave. Women. What say you?
One-night stand or affair, 3. Long-term relationship, 5.
Friendship 5.
Notice how the one-night stand potential spiked. Ready, ladies? Here we go.
Category: non-altruist, non-brave, professional. George lives and works in the city as a financial advisor and has a wide circle of acquaintances. When not working, he likes going to the theater, restaurants, and wine bars. Women love status. Ladies, rate that George. One night stand or affair, 4. Long-term relationship, 4.
Friendship 4.
See? Career success isn't a guarantee to get you women. More.
Category: non-altruist, brave, professional. Edward is an action man and throws himself into his work. He used to be a steeplejack, but is now a deep-sea diver. When not working, he goes jet skiing and plays tennis.
Ladies, he plays tennis. He jet skis. He is a deep-sea diver. Oh, rate, ladies, rate.
One night stand or affair, 2. Long-term relationship, 3.
Friendship 3.
Hoo-ha! The Edward man scores a second with the horny chick and does quite well with the rest. This is a major blow to nice guys. Women prefer a brave and professional man before your altruism, before your niceness. Here we go, girls.
Category: altruist, brave, voluntary. Bill is quiet and capable. He is always ready to lend a hand, but is unobtrusive. He works as a mechanic and is a key member of the local lifeboat crew.
He is everything except in status. How fares this, my lovely ladies?
One night stand or affair, 5. Long-term relationship, 2.
Friendship 2.
Good going, Bill. His status affects his one-night stand potential, but the rest see him as a great guy. Now onto the 8th combination of the 3 elements of confidence.
Altruistic, brave, professional. Alec is reliable in a crisis. He is always getting into and out of dangerous situations, usually for others. He is a fireman and has an award for bravery. His favorite pastimes include going to the cinema.
Behold, rating by women.
One night stand or affair, 1. Long-term relationship, 1.
Friendship 1.
Courage is the essence of masculinity. It is the initiator resulting in some form of professionalism. From then, it spirals out into a general good, a type of altruism. This is not to mean that we all rush out and become firemen. This study from the University of Liverpool illustrates the particular characteristics women respond to. Thank you, ladies.
Pook gives them a kiss and then some.
You 3 were most helpful. The man who can be relied on in a crisis, who usually puts himself into danger helping others, this is the ideal man.
The ladies shout, "Oh, yes!"
Quiet, women. Your part is over.
Notice that the professional and brave, but not caring character of James Bond mold also does very well, especially for the one-night stands. Literature, legend, and popular culture are dominated by heroes, not Mr. Nice Guy. The point is that females value bravery above niceness when selecting men for marriage, affair, or a platonic relationships. Remember the movie Gladiator? The film is, by no means, a chick flick. It has gore, it has guts, it has politics, it has death and destruction, it has fighting and slashing. There is no romance. There are no love dances going on. So why do women consistently love this movie and the character of Maximus in particular? The answer is that Maximus was a man who did everything to protect his family and society, as it cost his life in the end. The tale of Maximus is mirrored by the play of Cato. In the play, Cato wins victory and then retires as a farmer. This play was watched over and over again by George Washington. At dances, women would burn their dance cards just to get one dance with General Washington.
But we all cannot save the Republic.
Look within your own life. Remember the movie Groundhog Day? Remember how he tries to get into a certain lady's pants through every trick he can, but fails even though he has eternity on his side? At the end, he improves himself in every aspect and she catches him. About a decade ago, a husband and wife were swimming off the coast of Australia. Then, alas, appears a shark. It headed for the woman. The husband put himself before her and hit the shark. He did not do brilliant commentary on the shark. He did not tell the shark of his trophies and academic winnings. He just punched the shark and did it again and again. The wife was able to slip away. The husband, alas, was lost. Whatever may be said, it is certain that he was a man. It is heroism, a love that is above life. towards manhood. Come now, gentlemen, and gather around this pool of ashes, the remnants of all great men. Let us light the fire within, and let it be the oracle for our post. Shh! Hear that? They are giving their advice. Listen.
The only dreams that are impossible are the ones that are not pursued. Dream, dream, dream.
Listen.
What? You say that you have a full weight of bad experiences on your shoulders? Shrug and live through imagination, not through history.
Hear them.
What? You are scared of risk? Imagine your emancipated spirit looking at your life. Doesn't it seem ridiculous to look at these risks as if they were real? What if you took the courage that one time? What if you stepped up to the challenge that other time? A life without risk is no life at all. Like a meteor, despite our lives being so brief, there is that trail of fire. The flash is all. For to win without risk is to win without glory.
Listen.
What? You are waiting for a woman, a girlfriend, to come and push you to where you need to go? You need a woman to complete you? What a poor relationship that would make. The purpose is not to have it complete you, but for you to share your completeness. Towards manhood.
The fault is not in the women, but in ourselves that we have failed to be men. For if you always think the way you are, you will always do the things you did. Thus, change comes with how you think. If you do not control the way how you think, someone else will. By mind, action becomes winged. The mindset is the trigger. It creates an energy that dazzles and dizzies reality surrounding you. Women get drawn in, as does general success. But don't take my word for it. Every great man has realized and harnessed the power that is the mind. Listen. Speak, spirits. Speak. Lock. A sound mind in a sound body is a short but full description of a happy state in this world. Lincoln. Always bear in mind that your own resolution to success is more important than any other one thing. Dickens. Minds, like bodies, will often fall into a pimpled, ill-conditioned state from mere excess of comfort. Pasteur. Chance favors the prepared mind. Bacon. Seek ye first the good things of the mind, and the rest will either be supplied or its loss will not be felt. Leonardo da Vinci. Patience serves as a protection against wrongs as clothes do against cold. For if you put on more clothes as the cold increases, it will have no power to hurt you. So in like manner, you must grow in patience when you meet with great wrongs, and they will then be powerless to vex your mind. Onward, spirits! Speak thy truth, Descartes! It is not enough to have a good mind. The main thing is to use it well. Roosevelt. Men are not prisoners of fate, but only prisoners of their own minds. Horace. In adversity, remember to keep an even mind. Leonardo da Vinci again. Iron rusts from disuse, stagnant water loses its purity, and in cold weather becomes frozen. Even so does inaction sap the vigor of the mind. Shakespeare. I, thus neglecting worldly ends, all dedicated to closeness and the bettering of my mind. MLK Jr. A nation or civilization that continues to produce soft-minded men purchases its own spiritual death on an installment plan. Oh, speak, perturbed spirits. Speak, Cicero. A mental stain can neither be blotted out by the passage of time nor washed away by any waters. Hawks. The only inequalities that matter begin in the mind. Holmes. The mind, once expanded to the dimensions of larger ideas, never returns to its original size. Jefferson. Bodily decay is gloomy in prospect, but of all human contemplations, the most abhorrent is body without mind. Virgil. The spirit within nourishes, and mind instilled throughout the living parts activates the whole mass and mingles with the vast frame. Ovid. Happy is the man who has broken the chains which hurt the mind and has given up worrying once and for all. Heaven and earth, let them be heard. Spencer. It is the mind that maketh good or ill, that maketh wretch or happy, rich or poor. Shakespeare again. It is the mind that makes the body rich, and as the sun breaks through the darkest clouds, so honor peereth in the meanest habit. Cato. If you are ruled by mind, you are a king, if by body, a slave. Webster. Mind is the great lever of all things. There is a story that a friend told me that I, in turn, wish to depart with you. A sensible woman traveled to a village of fools in which a young boy was raised. A crowd of females, both women and nice guys, gathered around him with various objects, whips, ropes, and stones. One said, "Look at how fast and strong he is. He makes the others feel weak. Let us tie stones around his body to slow him down." Another said, "Look at how sure he moves through the world. Let us whip him to make him realize that the world yields to others, not to him." A third said, "Look at how successful and resourceful he is. Let us tie him up with ropes and spread his fruits to others." A fourth said, "Look at how he stands tall and straight, almost as if he were a demigod. Let us place stones on his head to weigh him down to earth." And yet, a fifth said, "Look at that attitude of superiority. Let us hoist him into the air with ropes, tie the whip around his neck, and weigh it down with stones to squeeze the bloody attitude with a hanging."
"Stop!"
cries the woman.
"What nature has done is well made. The boy is endowed with the gifts whose fruits we depend on. Do not pretend to correct nature. The superior physical strength, the confidence, the resourcefulness, the idealism, and the egoism, let these natural traits grow and blossom to the beauty that is man."
Then, in Shakespearean tongue, this woman cried,
"For what a piece of work is a man! How noble in reason, how infinite in faculty, how in form and grace, how expressed and admirable, how in action, how like an angel, how in contemplation, how like a god, the beauty of the world, the paragon of animals."
Nature has given us all that is necessary to accomplish our destinies. It has provided a social form as well as a human form. And these masculine traits are so constituted that they develop themselves through the clean and unpolluted mind, free of feminist-imposed guilt, developing themselves harmoniously in your best pursuit. Away then with feminist and guilt-felt males. Away with their stones of sensitivity programs to tie us down. Away with their whips of laws. Away with their ropes and bindings of legalities that shuffle our success and wealth to women. Away with the stones of guilt that push us to pessimism. Away with the hanging of annihilation whose executor's hand is but our own, towards manhood, and through it let men be men, and the light of life shall shine again into the world. Towards manhood, and let us never deceive ourselves again. Let Eve cry all she wants. Let the feminists, turning ever which way, prattle and rattle their flaming sword of devilish tongue, for we have reclaimed paradise. Women initiating dates. Thanks for sharing with all the details. I know that took an effort to write, and it's hard looking back at such a bad time when all you want to do is forget about it and move on.
I'm finding myself in a similar situation. The girl was hitting on me very, very hard, yet I turned her down. Ha ha! But I admit, I was very, very flattered. What bigger boost is there to the ego than a chick hitting on you hard? We've been playing lots of phone tag. I've noticed that infatuation has creeped up on me.
Most guys on this forum are, or were, nice guys. Spot infatuation as soon as it begins. It is important to see infatuation before you mistake it as love. This is what makes puppies out of nice guys.
I'm willing to walk away at the drop of the hat. I know she's not worth it. But I'll play along for now. Let the clock tick and see what happens. Women seem to be very patient, and letting the clock tick is one of the best things I've found so far.
Anti-Dump is semi-right that a woman will not find it interesting if she initiates the date. But the woman wouldn't initiate it if she didn't want it. But that brings us to a contradiction. After all, wouldn't we find it boring to initiate a date? Of course, this isn't true. So if men do not get bored with initiating a date, then why would a woman? I think Anti-Dump has missed something here. Women use sex to get relationships. Men use relationships to get sex. That is how the sexes are wired. The latter demands reproduction. The former demands nurturing. Both are essential to the continuance of the species. If you were to find out that the woman you were dating was a slut and easy, you would quickly stop dating her. Unless you plan to use her, but that's a whole different story. Now let's say you are female. You find out that the guy you were dating is easy emotionally and becomes instantly infatuated with you. That is nice guy. You would quickly stop dating him, unless you plan to use him and milk him of his money, etc. But that's also a whole different story. Just because a woman initiates the contact doesn't mean it's uninteresting to her. Hell, she wants it to happen, or else why go through the trouble? What is important to remember that guys would take that initialization of contact and turn it into infatuation.
Whoa, she's asking me out. Man, I'm killer stuff. She must really like me.
The reaction is that we guys become flattered and become very easy emotionally for them. The point is not that the initialization done by the woman that makes the man uninteresting, but the man surrendering emotionally to the woman that initiates it. On marriage. Why some of the marriages fail. The problem is not marriage. It is the woman you marry. Be picky. Figure out yourself and what you want, and go get it. Aim for similar life views. Many kids in college aren't doing this, and we know what happens to them. Often, the woman gets married too young. All her girlfriends are going to parties, having fun, and she is stuck with a husband and duties. Oh, if she could only have fun. There is a feminine mindset, in both men and women, but most frequently in women, that marriage is a great achievement, as if they are the only ones doing it. A woman considers that her getting married means she is being successful. She is moving up that female aristocracy ladder. Now she gets to have a wedding and be princess for a day. The guy marries because he is tired, so tired. He cannot stand being single and cannot endure the trials of life. He jumps at it, as an armadillo does in front of my car when I flatten it. Be a man. Be independent. Follow that passion of divinity within you to satisfy your ambition and idealism. Many guys cannot do this. They think like women, and so die never being men. The divorce rate was highest during World War II, yes, that greatest generation. Society is not changing. We share more things with the past than we would dare admit. Who invented marriage? I have to disagree with Jake Steed on this one. First time for everything. Men created the institution of marriage. It is common to think of weddings and marriages as one of the same, but they are separate and have different origins. The wedding is merely a societal event, a celebration. It was to be more of a community event. Remember how closely knit communities were back then, how the community was all. To say that weddings were invented by women, I would agree. But marriage? No. Women are entirely sexual creatures. Turning from this present widening gyre, the falcon can no longer hear the falconer. The feminists have sought revolution, but women cannot create revolution, only chaos. Thus, anarchy has been unleashed unto the world. The unfaithfulness of women is nothing new. Simply read the introduction to Arabian Nights. The Sultan, realizing the unfaithfulness of all women, decides to sleep with one per night and kill her the next day. The savior of women comes and tells stories to the Sultan. He doesn't kill her because he wants to know how the story ends. Thus, women survive through the stories. We make the stories, our idealizations, and all makes tales of the woman. Dante turns Beatrice into the Divine Comedy. A poet turns a woman into poetry. A painter, paintings, and so on. But the point is that women, being entirely sexual, are locked within a prism of society. They would freely sleep with any guy of their fancy, but the slut and reputation factor all come in. Thanks to this, women are bounded. Men created marriage to bind the woman to her. The deeper you go in the religions and ancient philosophies, one will be struck by the misogyny. But there is truth in it.
No, women created marriage to tie up the man.
Women wouldn't need marriage. They have sex to use. And what do women want? Either they want pleasure or they want to be a mother. Marriage has nothing to do with either. Women can leash guys just through sex. Thus, many women do not see marriage. They merely see the wedding. When you start to talk to her about the marriage relationship, she will start talking to you about the wedding. It is women more than men who cheat, though to be fair, this might be because they have more opportunities. It is women more than men who initiate divorce. Many women can't stand it. Monogamy is more against their instincts than ours. No one would deny institutions like the state, science, and all are male-created. But so is marriage. Women are like the centaurs. They ride the beast through this world. They must be bounded. Societal marriage. The legal laws concerning marriage nowadays are awful and need to change immediately. But let us not confuse legal marriage with the societal marriage. Legal marriage is whatever the government says. Societal marriage comes from the community, a public face on the union. In older times, religious laws that formed the community would of course be used to lawfully wed the couple. If you found a woman that you love and all, and stayed with her, that is basically marriage. Legally it may not be, but it is marriage. Do not confuse the legal problems with marriage itself. Having a life partner can be very rewarding. Saying, I won't get married, but will have a life partner, you mean, I won't get the government's legal clause into me, but I will have a life partner to marry, used in the oldest sense. You guys wouldn't be happy just going from one chick to another forever. Remember, you do not live to Don Juan. You Don Juan to live. The entire series is available on YouTube for free. But if you'd like to own a copy and support my work, you can purchase the 10-hour audio and PDF on Gumroad. The link is in the description.